The day my mom introduced me to her friend, who turned out to be my real dad. When I was 16, my mom sat me down at our kitchen table and said she wanted me to meet someone. I thought it was just another one of her awkward attempts at dating again. What I didn't know was that this so-called friend was actually the man who had been my biological father all along. Growing up in Ohio, it was always just me and my mom. She was the type of parent who worked double shifts, came home exhausted, but still managed to ask me about my day. Anytime I asked about my dad, she'd give the same vague answer. He's not in the picture, but you don't need to worry about him. So I stopped asking. I figured he either didn't care or just wasn't alive anymore. One Friday evening, she told me we were having a guest for dinner. She seemed nervous. She cleaned the house like it was Christmas Eve, cooked way more food than usual, and kept checking her reflection in the microwave. I teased her, assuming it was a date. Then the doorbell rang. Standing there was a man in his early 40s, dressed casual but neat. He smiled at me in this weirdly familiar way, like he knew me better than I knew him. Mom introduced him as Mark, an old friend. We sat down to eat, and the whole time, this guy kept asking me questions. Not the shallow adult-to-teen kind of questions, but real ones. About my favorite bands, whether I liked history or science, if I ever thought about college. It was like he wanted to know everything about me. Halfway through the meal, I noticed how uncomfortable my mom was. She wasn't eating much, just pushing food around her plate. Finally, she sighed and said, "There's something I need to tell you." That's when the bomb dropped. This wasn't just her friend. He was my father, my real dad. The man she had kept a secret my whole life. At first, I laughed because how else do you react to that? Then I looked at him, and suddenly, little things clicked. The same chin, the same crooked smile, even the same way he tapped his fingers when he was thinking. I couldn't believe it. 16 years, and she had never told me the truth. After dinner, my mom admitted that he and her had split before I was born. He wanted to be there, but things were complicated, and she thought it was easier to raise me alone. Recently, he'd reached out begging for a chance to meet me. I didn't know whether to be angry, shocked, or relieved. On one hand, my mom had lied to me. On the other, the man I thought never cared actually did. That night when he left, I sat on the porch with my mom. She told me she was sorry for keeping it from me, that she thought she was protecting me. And for the first time in my life, I realized the story of who I was. Wasn't the story I thought I knew. It's been years since that night. And yes, I have a relationship with him now. But sometimes I still wonder, if my mom had never introduced him as her friend, would I have ever known the truth about where I came from?